And okay, we are live. Welcome to eJuices.com Live, brought to you by eJuices.com. My name is Michael. Tina and Christine have the night off, but they will be back next week. Stick around tonight as we discuss New Year's resolutions related to starting vaping and the best devices with which to do so. Joining us tonight is Bobby Grigorian and Harry Ayvazyan from Aspire Vape Co, manufacturers of high-quality vaping hardware and e-liquid. We will also be doing a giveaway later in the show, so be sure to stick around. Welcome, Bobby and Harry.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for coming. So tell us a bit about each of you. Hobbies, you guys married, you guys have kids.
Well, I'll be the first one to start. I am married with two children. I came to US about 13 years ago. I was introduced to the vape industry about 2 years ago when Aspire Vape Co started it, and got very passionate about the industry and where is it going, what it brings to the consumer. So started working with them. Happy working and happy in a personal life.
Awesome.
You too.
I've been here since I was 3 years old in America. I have a big I'm actually not married, single, no kids that I know of. But yeah, my hobbies are pretty much, camping, fishing. I do a lot of outdoor stuff. And now with this job, I've always loved traveling. So with this job, I actually do get to travel a lot. So it's pretty neat.
That's awesome. Awesome. And again, thanks again for joining us on the live show. Welcome everybody out there in the YouTube universe. Welcome. All right, so let's talk about Aspire Vape Co. Tell us about Aspire for those out there who aren't aware of Aspire. Tell us about Aspire.
Well, Aspire started in 2008. Name of the company is Gate. We Aspire Vape Co. We're an authorized distribution company for Aspire SIG. We do also partner with them to manufacture e-liquid and glass hookah. We're also concentrating in doing marketing for Aspire company. Also being that bridge between consumer and Aspire to take that message, the feedback from a consumer directly to manufacturing to make sure that upcoming products or existing products will get better in a quality and a functionality. Overall, we do represent Aspire mostly in US. That's our main concentration, but we'd also represent Aspire outside of the United States. We attend trade shows, international trade shows, like such as in Russia or in South America, in Colombia or Mexico. Overall concentration to make sure priority is to make sure that feedback goes from consumer to Aspire directly.
Awesome. And so you talked about how long your company's been around. So your products are sold in the U.S. You guys mainly represent the U.S. I think you have some international representation, but where are Aspire products sold? Are they sold worldwide?
Yeah, Aspire sold worldwide. Again, there are major markets out there, such as U.S. market. We're big in Germany, Greece. It's picking up definitely in Russia, which is a new market. In South America, it's starting, but again, it's one of the main companies out there that brings that quality, especially for starters.
So the company's doing a good job to get more people vaping around the world, which is great.
True.
Which is kind of what we're talking about tonight. And where are the products manufactured?
Products mainly manufactured in China. There's only two products that is manufactured here in US. It's our e-liquid line.
Okay.
And we also have a glass hookah that promotes one of our innovations in the market. That'll be electronic hookah, which combines basically the experience of doing a hookah, but for those people that they can't actually do hookah, but they can do vape. So it's combining two worlds in there to have the experience for those people that can't do regular hookah.
Nice. And how many people would you say are using or have used an Aspire device since the company was created?
Michael, that's a pretty difficult question to answer because we've been around for a few years now, and I would probably say millions and millions of people are actually using it, since the fact that we are the first company. Aspire is actually the first company that created the sub-ohm tank with our Atlantis, our Nautilus, and our Atlantis that actually came out is what actually brought vaping to where it is now as far as sub-ohm tanks go, and the innovation has actually followed after that tank over and over and over again, and it just keep on getting better and better as throughout the years. So it's a hard number to actually answer, but I'm sure it's in the millions.
And thank you for being the first sub-ohm tank. We appreciate that. Again, welcome everybody who's watching, everyone in chat. So let's see. If you had to describe your products in one word, what would it be?
I would say probably the best word will be reliable. I don't know about Bobby, how he's going to describe, but for me, it'll be reliable.
Reliable.
Pretty much the same as well, to reliable.
And what are each of your roles in the company, just so we can let the viewers know?
I'm going to be I'm the area manager for the company.
Okay.
Sales director for the company.
Awesome. All right, cool. All right, so we're here to talk about resolutions. It's January 2nd, it's 2018. There's a lot of people who are going to set resolutions for themselves. There's losing weight. There's a number of other things. Many people are going to have start vaping on their list of resolutions. This is what we want to talk about on this show in particular, and what Aspire has to help that person who wants to achieve that goal. So let's talk about resolutions. So how should people tackle this goal in general? Let's take Aspire aside. Let's just talk about people that want to start vaping. What do you do? What would you say to somebody who wants to start vaping? What's the first thing you would tell them to do?
Well, the first thing you have to do is actually find out what their goals are in regards to starting to vape and why they're trying to vape.
Okay.
And, is it they're trying to stop a bad habit? Is it, how often do they do that bad habit on a daily basis? What nicotine levels they're at? You have to find out if they want more flavor, if they want more nicotine production, if they want more cloud production. That's basically going to be a first thing on what to do. And then as far as somebody starting to vape, do they travel a lot? Are they in the car a lot? Do they need something with easy chargeable ports on it? Do they need something that has multiple batteries that they can constantly switch out, keep it charged separately, like I personally do, and then switch it out with the from the mod itself? So it all depends on what the consumer actually does need and where they want to start from. So these are questions that you have to actually ask the consumer or the person who wants to start vaping in order for it to give them the right answers to that question.
Well, in that note, sorry for interrupting. So in that note, actually, one of our goals is also on a local level. What Bobby has been doing for past few months, it's a new project we're working on right now, is educating the local shop employees also how to educate their consumers. Because we can't, as a company, we can't reach out every single person out there, but the shops are the ones who have direct access to consumers. It's one of the things that we have in our mind in a project to make sure that education is in there on a store level, so for them to be able to educate their clientele, their consumers that are walking in and trying to start vaping as a first-time vapor.
I applaud your company for doing this. I think education is key. Thank you very much for doing that. But so, Bobby, going on your point, how do I know how do I know what nicotine level I'm at if I have another bad habit?
So personally, for myself, I used to be a former smoker,
Okay.
and I used to smoke about 2 packs of cigarettes a day. So for me to compare what the nicotine levels were, I started off with around 12 milligram of nicotine when I first started vaping years ago. And I slowly started from there, you know, just started with the high nicotine to see if it's going to cut my craving of the nicotine that I was actually getting from cigarettes. And then slowly I just started, you know, working my way down to find the perfect nicotine level that satisfied my needs without giving me that extra throat hit, without, you know, having me feel like I'm, you know, lightheaded or dizzy or anything like that. Because if you go, you don't want to go too high with the nicotine, you don't want to go too low. So you want to be somewhere where you're comfortable, where it's going to completely stop your craving from wanting to pick up, you know, a bad habit again. So that's the number one thing.
Nice. But so got it. But I don't necessarily know what my nicotine level is, right? I guess just going back to your response to the question is, where does a vapor start? Is it does it seem overwhelming? Like, do I have to know what my nicotine level is? Do I have to know if I need it in the car? Do I need it? You had a number of criteria.
Well, as an example, okay, for me, so I smoked everywhere I went, pretty much. If I was in my car, I was smoking in my car. So I personally knew that I needed at least, you know, my vape to come with me in the car if I was in the car. Me smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day told me that I needed to start with the higher nicotine level to cut my cravings. Then when I noticed that my cravings were getting lower and lower, I started dropping my nicotine level low as well too. Now I can, honestly, I'm at a point right now where I can pretty much just leave my vape at home. I don't even have to worry about it because I have completely stopped wanting, you know, any kind of nicotine. So now I'm pretty much at like 3 milligrams of nicotine, or even most of the time 0 is the most. I mean, the most I do is 3, but most of the time I'm actually at 0. So it's what I do. So just to kind of like, you know, if I just want to pick up a vape and just vape on it a little bit, just to kind of get the flavor, more like I'm chasing flavor now versus chasing clouds or chasing nicotine. So that's basically where I'm at. So that's the number one goal for the consumers in the market as well too. To how many packs you smoke a day is going to be based off the nicotine level that you want to start off. And then from there, just basically start trickling down, you know, the nicotine level, and you just completely quit everything if you want to.
Understood. All right, cool. So, hey, if you're out there watching us, if you just joined us, let us know in the chat. Also, let us know in the comments down below this video. If you had to recommend a family member, friend, or loved one that wanted to start vaping, what would you tell them to do? Let us know in the chat. Let us know on this video in the comments after the show. If you're watching this after the live show, let us know. That would be interesting. And then, so let's talk about Aspire specifically. So which Aspire products would be best for new vapors? New vapors.
That's going to be basically our 2 starter kits that we do have. One I would say would be the POC X.
Okay.
Which is going to be this little guy right here.
Okay.
Bring it a little closer to the camera. And then our second unit is going to be our Aspire Breeze. They're both going to be more towards like a mouth to lung hit versus just straight lung hit. It's going to be more for nicotine and more for flavor production versus just cloud production. So somebody who is new into the vaping, doesn't want something too technical, something very simple to use, very cost efficient as well too. This is what you want to start off with. Either you want to start with the POC X or the Breeze.
So for those people out there in the chat, for those people watching this video after the live airing, mouth to lung, let's just make sure people understand what that is.
Mouth to lung is basically the same concept as if you were a smoker. You basically first inhale it into your mouth versus going straight into your lungs. So you go mouth and then into your lungs versus going straight into your lungs.
So basically, you care about more of getting a nicotine than getting a vape to do tricks or stuff like that. It's different.
Harry, the big trickster, I think.
No.
So can you expand why those 2 products are ideal for new vapors? Like what is it about them? Or if someone was watching this video and they were trying to gather information, they're considering a resolution for the year, help them understand why those 2 are different than, I don't know, a lot of other stuff that's out there on the market, or why they should steer towards those type of devices.
The number one thing is going to be the simplicity of it, on how simple it is to actually use it, to change a coil on it, the way it actually you fill up in it as well too. Like everything's very simple to use with both of these products that I have here in my hand. So that's going to be the number one thing. When I first started vaping, I was looking for something that's going to give me, like I said, the nicotine, and it's going to be efficient for me to use because I didn't want something too technical. now that I have the knowledge, I can definitely go into more technical stuff. But as far as beginning, you want to start off with something small. Trying to stop a bad habit, and these two basically are going to give you the options to go with a different coil system, like the 1.2 coil. That's going to give you the salt nicks or higher nicotine levels as well too. That will not give you a very bad throat hit versus like some of the bigger mods or bigger tanks are out there in the market more for cloud chasing or stuff like that. That's why these two are going to be the best options.
And what's the difference in the two? Why would I choose one over the other? Or is there a one fits one person, one fits another? Is there a price difference? Is there an ease of use difference?
Price point is actually exactly the same. There's no difference in the price points in these. One is just basically it's more aesthetics and which one you want to carry, and then there's gonna be some battery life with it as well too. So one's gonna have more battery if you're a consistent chain. If you're a chain vapor, then you want to go with something like this that's gonna give you more battery life. If you're not a chain vapor, just want to get a quick nicotine rush off of it and then just put it away, you're gonna go with something like this. And they're both very small and slim. They just fall in your pocket. It's actually smaller than it's a little bit bigger than a lighter, I want to say, for both of them. One's going to be a little bit taller, one's going to be shorter, but they're about the same size as an average lighter out in the market.
And so I'm a new vapor, I don't know, I'm trying to get started here. I pick one of these devices. I really don't know much about it. How is a full charge? Should the full charge last me for one night, 1 week, 1 month? Do I need to bring a charger with me? Are the batteries replaceable? How does that work?
Well, either one of these, that if you did purchase the POC or the Breeze, they do actually come with the USB charger for both of them. So as long as you have a USB charger anywhere you go that has a USB port, you can pretty much charge it. The Breeze itself has 650 milliamps of battery power. So like I was saying, if you're not a chain vapor, this one unit should last you at least all day. If you're just doing high nicotines like the salt nicks, you take 1 or 2 or 3 hits out of it. You stop your craving for the nicotine. You put it away. You don't vape on it. This one's going to have 1,500 milliamps of battery power. So somebody who's looking at chain vaping or wants to have the battery last a lot longer, they would go with something like the POC system.
So the batteries are a little bit different. So one's a little more durable on the length of.
They're not interchangeable. They're both internal batteries. They both have a USB port. This one's going to be on the back. This one's going to be on the bottom here. That has a charging. You can actually buy a charging dock for it as well too. And the charging dock actually does come with a 2,000 milliamps of battery power. So you'll have 2,600 or 2,650 milliamps of battery power for the Breeze, because it has like a basically charging dock, and it's not just a charging dock, but it's more a portable battery with it as well too. So you can vape with it, or you can, from a dead battery to a full charge takes about 30-35 minutes to fully charge it. Then you can pretty much just take it off charging dock and then just vape on it again until it dies and then recharge it. You can charge it up to 4 times with the charging dock.
Do I have to carry like a car battery into the club with me in case I run out?
Just a little bit bigger than, it's like about the same size as this basically is what it is. So you're gonna have basically 2 of these. So
got it.
Very slender. It's not big or anything like that, and they're both very lightweight. So.
All right. So for those people just joining us, you're watching eJuices.com live. We are talking to Harry and Bobby from Aspire Vape. And we are talking about resolutions. We're talking about starting vaping. We're talking about people that would like to get into vaping, people that have questions about vaping, and even experienced vapors who want to know about Aspire's products and some of the stuff they have on the market. Don't forget to stick around to the end of the show. Guys, please tell the audience what you guys are giving away.
So what we got actually giving away right now is we have 4 Breezes that we're giving away. We got 5 different color options. So we're going to leave it to the person who wins it to give us the color that they want, and we'll go ahead and send it over to them.
And how long has the Breeze been on the market?
I want to say, about a year now? Not even. Less than a year.
We're looking at about 6 months.
Has it been updated? Oh, go ahead.
Originally, it was released right before 2016, August 8th. It just, we released a lot of products back then. We didn't put it in mass manufacturing because of the making sure that the product and the quality is there to get a feedback from a consumer level. And then we took that feedback and make those updates and changes before mass release to consumers.
Awesome. All right. So 4 people out watching this live show are going to have a chance to win a Breeze, which is a fantastic starter device from Aspire.
And then one special person out there is actually going to win our brand pretty much new SkyStar Revvo kit that we have.
It's been out market with 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks. One lucky winner. One lucky winner.
It's a revolutionary technology of the coil. So it's
awesome.
brand new in the market.
And we will talk about that a little later. All right, so let's get back to it. How much would you say a new vapor should expect to spend to get started? What's reasonable to expect?
With the Pocket or the Breeze, you're looking at about anywhere from $20 to $30 range for either one of these units here to basically start off with your equipment to start vaping.
But what about everything? Does that come with the juice?
No, not with the juice. The juice depends on obviously what type of juice you're looking at purchasing. Depends on what milliliter bottle you're looking for. So all that's going to definitely change. If you add the juice in there, you're probably talking about another anywhere from $15 to $25 for the juice, and it can go anywhere from like a 15 ml bottle all the way to 120 ml bottle of juice.
Cool. So you think for someone to start vaping, you would say about $50 to get started?
50, yeah. If you're talking about like, getting a couple extra coils, getting a bottle of juice and the actual unit itself, you're looking at about anywhere from like, I want to say probably no more than $60. That's with everything. Because all of our, the Pockets, or sorry to cut you off, Michael, but our units, the Pockets or the Breeze, they already come with 2 coils in there. So you already start off with 2 coils, and each coil should last you a few weeks at least before you do have to, change it with the new one. So if you wanted to wait on, testing it out, see how it is before you bought extra coils, you definitely can get, 2 coils with each one before you actually invest into more products for the actual unit itself.
Nice. And I can put almost any juice inside of those devices?
You can do every juice with the 0.6 coil that comes with the Breeze or the Pockets. If you do want to get into the salt mix, you do have to get the 1.2 coils for either unit.
Got it. So really quickly, for those out there in the chat and watching this video after, the Nic salts, let's just explain what that is so people know what a Nic salt is versus a regular e-liquid.
Nic salts are basically just higher nicotine level juice is what it is. And if you're doing higher nicotine e-juice out of it, you can't do it with the regular 0.6 coil. It's basically a sub-ohm coil. You can't do it with that because it's going to give you a lot. It's going to burn a lot hotter, so it's going to give you a lot, harsher throat hit, I want to say. So what the 1.2 coil does, it's going to basically mellow it down for you. So when you do vape on it, it's not going to be a harsh hit. You're still going to get the, a soft throat hit with it. Plus, you're going to get the nicotine rush that you're basically craving for.
Got it. Okay. Which brings us right into our next question, which is, so what nicotine level for new vapors do you recommend? Or what nicotine levels for those devices that you recommend for someone who wants to start vaping? What should they start at? I know you said it kind of depends on their background, but what's kind of a typical nicotine level where someone should start?
Typical with either one of these, if you went with the 0.6 coil that comes with it, I would recommend a 6 milligram nicotine to start off with.
Okay.
Let's see how that is. Because the 0.6 coil will actually be able to help them out with that. So instead of going with the really high nicotine, you go with the 6 milligram nicotine. You do about 5 or 6, vapes off of it. And if you feel that it is actually stopping your craving, then that means that's perfect for you right there. You don't want to go any higher than that. But if you still feel that you want to go higher because it's not cutting your craving, then you want to go with the 1.2 coil, and you want to go ahead and bring it up to like a salt nic, or you can go with the 12 milligram nicotine as well too with the 0.6. You can actually do that as well too with the regular e-juice instead of the Nic salts.
So the 0.6 and the 1.2 you're referring to refers to a resistance level from the output of the device to heat up the coil, which vaporizes the liquid. So at the higher ohm, less resistance is better for higher nicotine. The Pocket and the Breeze are perfectly fine for people looking to start vaping, but you wouldn't recommend putting stuff maybe in there over 12 milligrams per se?
Yes, very, very true, exactly.
And 12 milligrams might be similar to what their habit was in another bad habit, right?
Exactly, it'll be very similar to that, true. And
okay.
Again, if 12 milligrams not stopping their cravings, then you want to go with the 1.2 coil and get into the Nic salts. for that little extra push on the, you know, the craving basically.
Which are available on eJuices.com.
Yes.
All right, so let's see. We talked about higher nic levels. So starting to vape is often compared to the tactile, you know, the physical aspect of it, and the taste experience of people's previous habit. How do your products satisfy people looking to start vaping in these areas? How does it mimic? I think a lot of times we all know the cigalikes kind of that are still in existence. And I think that there was a strong sense of trying to create something that looks and feels like a cigarette. But how do your products satisfy the tactile and the taste? Because I think those looking to start vaping or those that want to fulfill their resolutions for 2018, they're going to want, I think, as much as possible to mimic what it tastes, what it feels like, the act of it, and how it tastes now.
As a personal smoker, that I used to be, it wasn't more of having something in between my fingers. It was more of the motion of having something come towards my mouth where I can inhale it and blow out, you know, whether it's vape or smoke. Obviously, when I was smoking, it was smoke. Now vaping, it's vape. Basically, that's all it was. It was just a habit of bringing it up towards my mouth and, you know, inhaling something into my lungs that would mimic what my bad habit used to be, is what it was.
But the product itself is small enough to be comfortable in your hand, so you're not actually holding a huge mod in your hand to get that motion.
See? There you go.
This is my remote. All right, cool. So, and taste-wise, I mean, I think most often, I think we recommend people go with a sweet tobacco, or a menthol, because they're used.
What the device does for the flavor itself, it's what the coil system we have. What is it? It's you can have a very good e-liquid out there with a good flavor, but if you don't have a proper device to get that flavor out of it, that's what our device provides you. When you get a good e-liquid and you want to get that flavor out of it, our coil systems are pretty much on all of our devices are set up to give you that flavor, that true flavor from the e-liquid. That's a privilege. That's a benefit of using our devices.
Which is great. Which is awesome. All right, so let's talk about like initial equipment. So how important do you think initial equipment is in the success of somebody transitioning to vaping? You know, I think that oftentimes, and Bobby probably knows this best from visiting the shops, but I think, you know, people might get sold on the wrong device or the wrong product, which doesn't contribute to their longevity in their transition period, right, if you will. How important do you think the right device is in the journey?
Honestly, it's very important. When, again, just as a self-experience, when I first was trying to transition from smoking cigarettes to vaping, I started off with certain devices that, you know, wouldn't produce the proper flavored production that I wanted, wouldn't produce the proper nicotine that I wanted, because the coil systems weren't as what they are now, as far as, you know, some of these companies, even with Aspire, like our coil systems in a way where it actually does produce the proper flavor that you want, the proper nicotine that you want, that's going to produce out of the actual e-juice that you're vaping on it. And because back then it was the system, I mean, the products were still fairly new in the system, in the market, it kept on breaking down. It wasn't as, I want to say, it wasn't as ergonomic as it is now. It wasn't as efficient as it is now. So it basically made me throw it away and go back to smoking cigarettes again. And it did take a couple of years for me to actually find the proper units that I needed to be able to completely get rid of my bad habits and get into just vaping and vaping only.
Well, I would say if we're scaling and we have a scale of 10, it will be 10 out of 10. That's how important it is.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to start vaping and you're new to vaping, you don't want to walk some place and somebody advise you to get a 200-watt mod with a 120-watt coil system. We get I'm telling you because we are not only in a store level, we have live chat, we have a community on our website where people actually put their feedback, their concerns. We see that huge concern where On a store level, people are not advising properly. People hear from friends like this product is good. They don't know what is it good for. They just walk in and they ask from a salesperson, can I get this? And end up being not a good device for them. So it is very important to have a proper device in your hand, especially if you're starting.
Awesome. So we want to hear about it in the chat. What device would the people watching, as well as people watching the video after this, put it down in the comments. What device would you recommend to a family member, friend, or loved one? Doesn't have to be Aspire. Just let us know what you guys think. What would you guys recommend to someone who came to you and said, "Hey, I want to start vaping. What do I get? What product should I buy?" Kind of curious to see what people think about that. If you're just tuning in, you're watching eJuices.com live, brought to you by eJuices.com. Tonight we are talking to Bobby and Harry from Aspire Vape Co, manufacturers of Aspire Sig products, mostly in the hardware business, and one of the biggest, by the way. Anyone? The Boulder. Okay. So let me ask you, Bobby, let me ask you a question since you're in the stores. Do you find that most stores are stocking an adequate amount of starter devices, or do you feel like they're more focused on the more experienced vaping market? Not just Aspire, but all their devices. Yeah.
That's definitely kind of a tough question. Pretty much every single vape shop that I have actually gone into, vape shop, smoke shop, doesn't matter where it's been, that actually sells, any kind of vaping product. I've walked into, they do carry somewhat of starter kits out there. The majority of the markets do actually carry. There have been few that I walked into that don't carry no starter kits. They only carry just, as far as like the cloud chasers go, the cloud competition people, or even the trick people that want to do all the O's and then all the vaping tricks that they want to do. So there is a very niche market in that. So there are a few stores that do that, but majority of the stores do carry starter products.
Enough, do you think?
They can definitely get some more.
Well, I would say that the industry has changed since it started. For past couple of years, probably it's more of a trend than what is actually truly a necessity for the industry itself. It's more of a trend. If something is in trend and it's a high wattage model, high wattage kit, that's what most of the stores will carry. So it's moving more of a tour towards doing a business than actually serving to a community, which is, in our case, our core concentration is more of an industry than just a business itself.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think it seems to me like the shops don't carry enough to cater to the new vapor. I feel like they might just keep a narrow or a singular option. I'm sure it's much better now with stuff like the Breeze and the closed systems, et cetera. But I think what we'd really like to see is everyone addressing this new vaping market, right? Trying to get people into vaping so that our industry continues to flourish. Any other thoughts on that?
That's pretty much what I do, is like when I go from store to store and I'll see exactly what they do have or what they don't have. If there are certain products they don't carry, I would definitely will mention it to them, like, hey guys, and I would basically stick around and I would see what type of consumers actually come into their stores. Based off the consumers, I'll give them the proper knowledge that they needed, and I'll do an overall, touch base overall on the entire vaping industry with them as well too, because there have been certain stuff that's in the market right now that they don't know about, they're not aware of, because there is so much in the market that you can't really keep your mind on every single product that's out there. So somebody like me that does go from store to store, talk to store owners, show them the new products that's out in the market, and teach them what the benefits are of this product versus other products in the market, or what this actually, how it would benefit their consumer and even for their business as well too. That's exactly what I would show them. Like, hey guys, look, this is what it is. This is how this works, this is how this is. And I would actually have them test some of it out as well too, so they can actually have their own feedback on it as well, so they can pass that proper knowledge on to their consumers, so they have the proper information going back and forth.
Education is so key. It really is. And I'm glad to see you guys are taking it seriously, and then you guys are out there doing that for the industry. So thanks for doing that. All right, so it seems like in general there's a lot of people, or at least let's talk about my circle. There's a number of people in my circle, or even my extended circle, who try to start vaping and then they just can't stick with it. Why do you guys think that is?
It's well, again, it's all on the reason of why they're trying to start vaping in the first place. Second is the proper equipment. If they don't have the proper unit, proper equipment to use it, some it can be just something as simple as they don't have the proper eJuice. They can't find the proper eJuice. If they do find the one that they actually do like, they will definitely stick with it and continue vaping that same eJuice over and over again. If they want to change flavors, they could in between, obviously, but that's pretty much what it is. And certain companies out there, again, not to drop any names, but it's the coil system as well too. Some companies out there that don't have the proper coil system, that doesn't last as long as it should, doesn't produce the flavor that they want, or give them the proper nicotine production out of it. That's one of the reasons why I was throwing away some of my older units that when I first started vaping. That's one of the reasons why I just kept on going back to my bad habits versus sticking with it. But now with certain products that's in the market, with like I said, our Breeze, our Pocket system that's there, I get the flavor production, I get the nicotine production I want. It cuts my cravings for my bad habit that I had, and I haven't thrown it away ever since I've had it in my hand. And I just keep on. If I do feel like I need to go back to it, I'd rather go back to one of my my Breeze or my Pockets versus going back to my bad habits that I did have.
And you've had some personal friends or family members who tried it and did not succeed?
I didn't let them not succeed. And throwing away their bad habit.
Okay.
Without twisting their arm or without but I actually give them the proper knowledge that they needed to know. Brought different flavors, brought different coil systems, had different units for them as well to try out, make sure that they are getting the right one. With the proper education, it definitely did help them stick with it and get rid of their bad habits.
Which is great. Yeah, I can't. Any thoughts, Harry, on why people may not stick with vaping after they start?
I would say probably it is the device, and from a personal experience, I would say my uncle. It's harder for me to make any changes and educate him because he's actually in Russia over the phone. I've been trying. I sent him a couple of our devices. He just started it. It's much better, but where you're next to them and you can educate on a step-by-step level what nicotine you should start and then how you need to cut it down where you actually quit vaping also. That helps. So the education, what are the steps, how to start and how to transition from cigarette to vaping and from vaping nicotine levels and all that stuff with the proper device. So both education and the proper device goes hand to hand to make sure that they quit those bad habits.
Maybe we need like a buddy system. maybe everybody who starts vaping needs like a sponsor of someone who's experienced in the industry. I mean, we laugh, but I think quickly, just for myself, when I wanted to start vaping, I just wanted to start vaping, and I became inquisitive and curious and asked a lot of questions. But if I try and put myself into the shoes of somebody just walking into it, it is a little overwhelming. It's kind of intimidating. You walk into a number of shops, and it seems like it caters more to the experienced vapor. I'm not gonna say all shops, but and there's just a lot to it. I mean, it's no longer just a lighter, right? That you kind of need. There's a lot more complexity to it, and I guess I want to it would be great to find out how to just knock down those barriers and those walls. I mean, I think hopefully POC and Breeze are just enough to just dump it in and I go. I start receiving the nicotine that I crave and that I enjoy, without having a lot of the complexity, right?
Very true. It is actually extremely simple to use either one of these products. So as far as, like I said, for somebody who is new into the industry of trying to vape, and you don't want something that you're gonna have to sit there and build something or take 50 different things off in order for it to get to the one single coil that you have to replace out of it. So you want something as simple as possible, something that's very easy to access to. Just twist of a top, and something as simple as this. Just twist the top off, and there's the coil right there. That's how simple it is. That's your tank. That's your
And
coil
that's where the
system.
juice goes, right?
Juice goes right into the tank over here. It has a line of exactly how much you need to fill on it. If you need to replace the coil, just go ahead and take out the coil, put a new one in, drop it back in the tank, tighten it back up, and that's it. And you're ready to go.
One button, right? Just one button.
So the button does light up when when you are vaping. If the battery is if it needs to be charged, then it actually will light a different color that will let you know that it needs to be charged. But it is a one button touch. As simple as that. Five clicks turns it off. 5 clicks turns it on.
And the breeze is just an inhale, or is there a button on that as well?
Breeze has 2 options. So you do actually have the button that's right here in the center fire. So you can actually do a center fire button right over there.
Okay.
Or you can do without actually touching any button, is just start inhaling in it basically, and it just automatically, it's just from auto draw basically. So there's 2 ways you can do it. So some people prefer to use the button. It just gives you an instant, ramp up on it. I mean, there's no ramp up on it, just instant fire. Some people like to have a little bit more, airflow before they actually start getting some vapor production. They'll just go with directly from the mouth drop, basically, without pushing a button. And so you got both options.
And the products are designed for direct inhale and mouth to lung. Both, doesn't matter what I do.
With the POC X has a little bit more airflow, so you can do either or. The Breeze is more for mouth to lung.
Got it.
So the Breeze has only one small airflow on the side right over here. It's kind of hard to see with the black Breeze that I have in my hand. And the POC X actually has a non-adjustable top airflow that there's a lot more holes on it, definitely more airflow. So you could, if you wanted to, you could actually do straight lung hit with it. I would honestly recommend do again mouth to lung hit with it versus doing just straight lung.
Nice.
Because that's even more of the effect of the bad habit that you're trying to get rid of.
All right, cool. If you guys are just joining us, hello to everybody in the chat. Hello, Chad. Hello, TJ. Hello, Karen. Thanks for coming. Jonas Ramos Martin, welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. If you're just joining us, this is eJuices.com live, brought to you by eJuices.com. I'm Michael. Tonight we're joined by Bobby and Harry from Aspire Vape Co. We're talking about resolutions. We're talking about starting vaping. We're talking about devices. We're talking about how important the device is for when you want to start vaping, and how Aspire has a number of products to satisfy those things for people looking to start vaping. Or even if you're already vaping, it's great to have in the car as an extra device to go out to the movies, to go out to a concert, to have maybe just a smaller form factor or function format just to have, or to keep at your desk at work, right? Any of those things also apply. Also, be sure to stick around, because at the end of the show, we are giving away
5 breezes.
4 breezes.
4 breezes.
5 devices of them.
Yeah,
5 devices. So 4 breezes. Your choice. Your choice of color. 4 of them.
Yes.
1 SkyStar, which I think everybody in the chat wants.
1 SkyStar Revvo kit.
Yep.
Our brand new revolutionary tank called the Revvo tank. The most unique coil system that's in the market right now.
Can I win? That's my only question.
Can they win?
Can I?
Oh, can you win? No.
I don't think I can.
Sorry, Michael.
All right, so be sure to stick around. Thanks for doing that, guys. All right, so let's get back to it. So, what's the biggest complaint you've heard from those? Let's talk about those 2 devices in particularly. Is there a particular complaint that that customers have had for those?
So like we said, when we go from store to store, we actually do try to receive feedback from our consumer base as well, too, whether it's, our online that we have, whether it is, from physically talking to somebody who's actually had the unit. When we first did create the Breeze, or when it was first actually released, the bottom of the Breeze was actually round, so it wouldn't stand up. So we had a lot of consumers that actually did complain about it. So what we did is we went back to the drawing boards with our manufacturers, and we said, look, guys, we got to do something about it. Let's shave off the bottom and make sure that it's flat so it could actually stand up. So that's the number one thing that we always want to hear from our consumers that's out there right now. Any kind of issue that they might have with our units, we want them to come back to us and let us know, like, hey guys, you know what, why don't we do this? And if we see that it actually does make sense for us to do that, then we'll definitely look into it, go onto the drawing boards again, make sure that we do improve it so we don't come across that same issue over and over again.
On the pockets, the change we made will be
the
charging port. It was on the bottom. We changed it to the top.
And again, based off,
I would say the major changes will be, as Bobby mentioned earlier, both devices work perfectly with salt nicotine. But the feedback what we got from e-liquid manufacturing companies and from consumers are like 0.6 sub-ohm coil is too harsh on nicotine levels of 25 and higher. So we actually created it 1.2 ohm coil that works perfectly with those high nicotine levels. So those are major changes that we take.
That's awesome. And so for everybody watching out there that's live, and for everybody who's watching this video afterwards, where can someone go to provide feedback to Aspire?
AspireVapeCo.com?
Yeah, AspireVapeCo.com. We have live chat, we have Instagram page, we have community page created on our site. Any concerns about a product itself, any feedback, any critical feedback, we're very, very active on Reddit. It's more for us to be in touch with the community to get the feedback. And as everybody knows that Reddit is a very critical chat room to be on. We take all of those feedback directly to manufacturing to make sure consumer is heard. That's
awesome. So AspireVapeCo.com, we put that out there. We'll put it down below in the comments for those people that want to. They're open and interested in feedback, and it sounds like you've made a number of changes already, which is great. So you're not just taking the feedback, but you're actually reaching out and changing the product to accommodate the market, which is great. Very, very cool. So let's talk about what is Aspire doing in particular to get more people vaping? What are you guys doing in particular?
Well, as I said, all that market research and feedback, what we do, it helps us to make a better and more innovative devices to make sure that the experience is great, not just good. The concentration, we see the market itself, it changed the direction towards more of it being a trend market and more of a concentration on starters for people that are just starting vaping. So our concentration makes sure that from A to Z, we cover pretty much the whole market with more innovative products that come more upgraded products, even on the existing units that are out there. We're constantly making changes or bringing a new device with a very successful coil systems that we have. We're just bringing a new device that is more of a fit, more modern looking, but has that same great quality of the coil system.
Awesome. There's a number of people on the chat talking about the Nautilus. I think you guys really started something with that product. I remember having one. I think there's a new one now, right? Do you guys want to comment for all the big Nautilus and Cleto fans, by the way? I have a Cleto and a Nautilus at home. Any thoughts, like what's happening with those? I know we're talking about resolutions, but there's a lot of people want to probably hear about the Nautilus and the Cleto as well.
We introduced Nautilus 2 recently. That's kind of like a better version of our old Nautilus tank. After the original Cleto, we introduced Cleto XO. Again, we took that device and the feedback with the leaking issue that Cleto had, and we changed it to a top airflow where it actually eliminates all of the leak, that issue that had the device, but it still gives you that experience and the flavor that you can get out of Cleto with the new coil system 0.16 for people that want to get flavor, but they want a slightly higher wattage for vape. So we introduced Cleto XO for the market, and also Cleto 120, which is slightly higher. It's a 120 watt tank.
Nice. And do I get a guarantee that the XO won't leak?
There is no guarantee, but it's
it is based off of the user, the proper way of using it.
Yeah.
Because if you are going to leave it hanging upside down constantly, the vape juice has to actually come out of somewhere. So that's something, you know what I mean?
Well, I actually had a client asking over the phone. He's like, "Have you tried to leave that Clito XO in Arizona under 120 degrees in the car for over 10 hours?" I'm like, haven't tested that yet.
But the EXO has a top airflow, right? So it
Yes,
took a
that's
lot
right.
of that bottom level stuff away.
Yep.
And
there's actually the airflow is between the cover and the glass itself, so there's no direct connection between the airflow holes and the e-liquid.
I think that's genius, which is great. A lot of people are like, I want to try the Clito tanks. Yeah, TJ Stacy, you should.
Definitely.
They're really good. So once again, if you guys are joining us, you're watching eJuices.com live, brought to you by eJuices.com. My name is Michael. We are talking to Bobby and Harry from Aspire Vape. This is a resolutions show. We're talking about people that want to start vaping and the devices with which they can do so with. And we're talking that devices are very important in the journey of transitioning to becoming a vapor. And Aspire happens to have a couple products that are perfect for these people. Or if you're watching out there and you have a resolution to start vaping in this new year, can you show us those products again? So one is the POC X.
I'm sorry, what was that question one more time? Oh, the POC X?
Yeah, one is the POC X, and
And the
one is
Breeze.
the Breeze, right? You guys can still hear me, right? I think my
Yeah, we can hear you, Michael.
yeah.
So you want us to introduce a product or actually talk about price points and stuff like that on it as
Sure.
well? Or?
Let's let everybody know what can they expect to pay for each of those, and then what should they expect to pay roughly to start vaping, which might include a bottle of juice that they would need.
The units itself, it all depends on what retail shop you go into. It's going to be anywhere from $20 to $30 price range is what it's going to be. And basically, it does come with 2 coils already in the box with it. It does come with the USB, a mini USB charger with both of them already. So you're pretty much set to go with them right away. The only thing you need to add to it is just the actual e-juice itself, and that depends on what type of e-juice you want to vape with. Overall, out the door, if you were just to get the unit and a bottle of juice, you're probably looking at anywhere from, I want to say, $40 to $60 range. Depends on what milliliter bottle you actually end up going with as well, too.
Well, as a starter, probably will be better to start with a smaller bottle, especially if you don't know what is the taste. But if you're gonna
yeah,
you don't want to just throw away $30 on a 60 ml or I don't know 120 ml. It's better to start it with if 15 is still available. I'm not sure. Probably 30s are still available. Yeah.
Yes, 30s
so
are still
30
available.
ml. Start with something and try it out. If you like the flavor, then you go to 60 or 100.
And you have to pay to sample now in a vape shop, right? So might as well make it worthwhile, right?
Oh yeah, I believe that's the new FDA laws that's been changed.
Technically, you have to pay for a raffle also to win this. Technically, you have to pay
$1.
Yes. So we will collect $1 from the winners, but I think in exchange it's a pretty good deal. Is the Breeze refillable? That's a question in chat.
Yes, and I'll show you the way that actually works too, if you don't mind, Michael.
No, go ahead. This is what the show's all about.
Perfect. I'll move away so you guys can actually see it on the white wall right there behind you. So basically, you've got the mouthpiece right here. Just pull off the mouthpiece right there. On the bottom of the mouthpiece, you're gonna see a small little metal piece right there. That's actually the tool to unscrew the chimney, which is gonna be right over here.
Okay.
Closer. There you go.
Oh, that's cool. So it comes with a tool.
Yeah, so it does actually come with the tool, that little silver piece right there, and it goes right onto the center of the actual piece.
Okay.
And you just twist it, and it's as simple as that. Just unscrew it. Oh, sorry, trying to unscrew it. There you go. And you take out the chimney system. Oh, there you go. So this just chimney basically goes right inside, and that's the glass right inside. So just take that off. The coil sits right on the bottom of the chimney.
Okay.
Right there. And then the glass right there has a little red mark. It's probably going to be kind of hard to see.
Yeah.
But you basically just fill it up to that red line, whatever eJuice you want, drop the chimney back in, tighten it up, and you're all set to go. That's it. That's as simple it is to use this system.
What's the capacity of the tank?
It's a 2 mil tank.
2 mil.
Yes.
Okay.
Both devices.
For both devices, the Pockets
okay.
and the Breeze, 2 mils of juice in there.
2 mils, but with the kind of the coil and the resistance level, you may not be getting. It's not really a cloud chasing device, so the juice may not be absorbed as quickly as another device.
It will last longer.
It'll last longer.
Longer than.
Yeah, it definitely will last a lot longer. So, like me personally, with the Breeze or the Pockets, I can probably go, filling up, I want to say 2, max 3 times an entire day vaping on it, versus some of the higher wattage, tanks or mods that's out there that you want to chase the cloud or, basic chasing clouds. You're going to need to consistently fill it because it's a lot higher wattages. You're burning through the eJuice a lot faster as well, too. Versus this one is just for pretty much flavor production. Like the Breeze is more for flavor production and more for nicotine production versus just cloud production.
It's really a cool size. I think the format is nice. Yeah. So it's like maybe a credit card, not as wide.
You have a credit card here?
Yeah. Both of you have a credit card, I'm sure.
Of course. There you go. So you got a credit card right over here. So it's pretty much the same height as a credit card. Oh, there you go. Move it out of the way.
I'm writing down your credit card number. Sorry.
Let me go and hide that real quick.
Right. So yeah. So it's good. And then it's fairly narrow, so it just fits in the pocket pretty. I think my impression is I think a lot of people that want to start vaping, they're kind of put off by like, it's so heavy. Where do I put it? Well, it's this huge thing in my pocket. Whereas I think the new stuff makes it a lot easier to make it a little more feasible, right?
It definitely does. That little side pocket on our pants usually has like a small little pocket, like a coin pocket. This actually fits perfectly in there. That's how
for guys or girls.
For guys, yes. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that.
Or in your purse or your clutch, right?
Exactly.
Very conveniently. Or
an idea of the size.
Yeah.
Or women. Hey, women, if you're watching, you might take your guys in your purse or your clutch as well. But yeah, no, I think the size, the formats have gotten a lot better, and it's nice to see companies that are taking that kind of into consideration and realizing form factor and functionality and convenience. And I think when I first started, people that were curious about vaping and whatnot, they would look at my devices and say, "Oh my God, like what is that? That's like the biggest thing I've ever seen. It's heavy. It seems like it'd be a pain to lug around, but I think as you get more into it, you start transitioning, which kind of brings me to another question. How have you guys noticed, like, how long should a new vapor expect to be using their first device?
That's more of a personal preference. If you want to basically go from, just flavor and nicotine chasing to cloud chasing, it all depends on, the consumer itself, the actual user itself. For me, it took me, I want to say, no more than about a year and a half to go from smaller units to the bigger units, chasing clouds, because that's what it was. That was actually what was the big thing a few years back, was cloud chasing, cloud competitions, and all of that. But I slowly went back to the smaller units again too, because it's a little more convenient to have in your pocket. Don't get me wrong, I still have my big units. I got my dual 18650, SkyStar Revvo here with me that I still carry with me, especially in my car. This is actually always in my car with me everywhere I go. So it's more convenient for me in the car. But when I'm in the office or when I'm going from store to store, I'll carry my smaller units because that's not as bulky in my pocket. I don't need to carry something as heavy in my pocket as well too.
You matured in the vaping world.
Exactly. So we had our our beginning experience of learning the industry, and then from there we went to our more experienced, chasing clouds, and then back to flavor and nicotine. Now just kind of going back and forth and just having fun with it now, pretty much.
Nice, but I'm sure being in the hardware business, I'm sure you've seen, maybe not firsthand, but I'm sure you talk to your customers or your shops or whatnot who kind of see this progression where they start with a POC X or whatever and they're ready for a SkyStar or whatever. I'm just kind of curious what that, how long should someone expect to, to be? I realize it varies by person, but I'm just wondering if you have any idea of what the expectancy of these starter devices is. Not that they go bad, but I think they start to prefer something else, right?
True. That generally does tend to happen again with the trend as well too. What the trend is out in the market. Some people start off with the with the all-in-one system like the Breeze or the Pockets, and they want to upgrade to something a little bit more higher wattage to get a little bit, I don't know, a little bit warmer vape out of it or whatever it is. So they'll basically slowly but surely start upgrading and getting into into bigger and bigger mods eventually. And again, like you said as well to Michael, it depends on the consumer, but it will take, and it all depends on how quick that they learn the system as well too, how quick that they learn what vaping is about and how to actually change coils, how to actually make sure that they're maintaining their unit properly as well too, because maintenance does play a big factor in it as well too. Because if you're constantly vaping it and you just throw it somewhere versus setting it down somewhere, it's not going to last as long too. So it all depends on the maintenance as well of it too.
Gotta take care of it. Got to take care of, or buy another one, right? Buy another one, or just replace it, right? One or the other. Okay, cool. So can we? Let's go back to the POC X and the Breeze for one more second. Let's talk about feature functionality. Like it has enough of the appropriate things a new vapor needs to commence the act of vaping, to get nicotine and to produce vapor, but it's not overly complicated, right? Whereas maybe the SkyStar is probably very functional. It has a lot of features, right?
It doesn't have menu on it, that's for sure.
It is definitely very simple to use. Either system that you go with, the Breeze or the POC X, extremely simple systems for both of them. Somebody who's trying to get new into the vaping industry, these are definitely units that you do want to get your hands on. Open tank system, so you can definitely see how much juice you have still left in this. So you're not going to have any dry hits that you're going to be possibly vaping. It does tell you the level of juice that's actually in there at the time. You'll definitely see the coil change with the color as when it is time to change the coil system on there. So everything is very simplified with both of these units to a point where somebody who's never vaped in their life can get their hands on one of these with just not even 2 minutes of explaining how the system works. They'll be able to just leave your shop with a lot of knowledge on how to actually use one of these without having to open up a 100-page manual to learn how to use one of the units. It's very simple.
And both units are self wattage regulating. I can't change the wattage now, no. And that might be an advanced term for anybody that's new watching this video, but the process of vaping is an interaction between a battery that heats a coil at a certain temperature to get the liquid to vaporize so you can ingest the vapor and the nicotine that's in it. But some devices have the ability to change that wattage, right? These are fixed wattage, correct?
These are fixed wattages, exactly, based off the ohms of the coil, like you just mentioned it. So it depends on what coil system you have in there. It's going to produce either a little bit warmer, warmer production or wattage production, I should say, to the coil system that's going to vaporize the eJuice that's in there, versus the higher ohms where it's going to basically not as burn as hot as fast. So for like the salt mix and stuff like that. So these are fixed wattage controlled mods basically. So they don't no adjustable wattage on these.
Got it. So it makes it easier for someone who's starting vaping to kind of just be like straightforward. I don't need to worry about a lot of different settings or whatnot. I kind of put the juice in, make sure my coil is in, and go for the most part.
Basically, it's like a golden middle of those criteria. It has enough airflow, it has enough wattage to produce enough flavor and nicotine for someone to start vaping. Before they go to more complicated and start playing around with wattage, and if I want more of a warm heat or do I want more of more of a nicotine, or do I want more of a vape ad?
Right.
So this is right in the middle where you actually just fill the juice and start vaping.
Awesome. So let's talk about the after I start type of thing, as far as the maintenance or the after the fact. So it comes with a couple coils. Both of them do?
Yes, they both actually do come with 2 replacement coils in the unit itself.
Plus the one that's in the unit, or there's 2 total?
2 total.
Okay.
With pockets, there's 1 built in. The second one comes as a spare.
Okay.
With Breeze, it doesn't have built in. You just have 2 in the box.
Okay.
That you have to install.
Got it. So I have 2 coils, so I'm good to get going for a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month, depends on how per coil, how you're using it, right?
Of course, yes.
And then I have to come back someplace and buy additional coils, right? Juice is consumable, so they're going to have to keep getting juice to the extent that they need more juice. But for the device itself, they need to replace the coil, because those do wear out, if you will, right?
Or if you want to change the flavor, that's also another reason to change the coil. Especially if it's a totally different flavor. If you're going from like a fruit flavor all the way to like tobacco, you want to change the coils. You don't have that weird flavor of combination of fruit and tobacco.
Is that why this tastes so funny?
If you have to change the coil, probably.
So what can they expect though? Like what's the coils? How are they available? What are the options? How easy is it? I think we saw how to change the coil. I don't think we actually did it because it's full of juice, but it's pretty easy just to change the coil. But what are the options? What are the packs that come in? I know we sell them. I think for
both coils come in 2 options, 0.6 and 1.2.
Okay.
Both on pack of 5. The stores are still selling as an individual coils, or you can buy a pack. It's available pretty much in all like brick and mortar stores and online shops.
Yeah.
Got it.
Those are very popular items. Pretty much, I would say 99% of the stores carry both, if not at least one.
Which is nice when you're in the middle of nowhere and you run out of coils and you need one. It's better than maybe a more obscure brand, right? So
0.6 is more popular because the 1.2 we introduced recently, again, for demand, we introduced, but it's getting also out there. But 0.6, I don't think any store won't have it.
So there's a question in the chat. So do they get one of each ohm in the box?
No.
At this point, because again, the 1.2 was introduced
fairly
recently. I would say less than a month ago.
Okay.
So still the devices come with 0.6 and 1.2. I mean, sorry, both 0.6 in the device. Where we're looking into probably updating and changing it to have both options, like we need for Little XO.
So I have one of each maybe in the future.
It definitely will in the near
to be a little more varied.
Exactly.
Got it. But, and then
but just to kind of show you again, it's as simple as, so basically it just sits on it like that, where the mouthpiece is. You unscrew it, take it off, and the coil sits right on the bottom. And all you got to do is just hold on to the coil and the mouthpiece and unscrew it, and the coil basically just comes out right off. So, and just to show you, it's as simple as that. There it is. That's the actual coil right there.
Okay.
So it's a very small coil, and again, just take the mouthpiece, screw it back on the actual coil, and just take your device again and drop it right back in. Twist it, and you're all set to go.
Harry with the save.
There he is.
Cool. Now, just for clarification, and I just want to make sure that for anybody watching, they kind of understand. So, can I use any of your coils with anyone else's products?
I would say we don't recommend from our consumers, we heard a lot of our, especially old coils, are being used on different devices, such as our Atlantis coils or Nautilus coils are being used.
The Triton coils as
Triton coils, yeah. Well, Atlantis Triton, technically, it's very similar coil systems. People are using on other devices because of the quality of the coil, the flavor, and then how long you're able to use those coils. They're using it. I'm not exactly sure what devices are they using on, but we don't recommend. So we recommend.
They're pretty much unique to the device.
Yes.
At least these are, right?
Yes. These specifically, yes.
Yeah, the Pockets and the Breeze specifically are made for the Pockets and the Breeze. From what I know, they are not interchangeable with other tanks or other units that's in the market right now. I've not seen or heard anything.
Or even amongst your products.
No. Even with amongst our products, it's basically specifically made for the Pockets or the Breeze itself. So they're not interchangeable either.
And the packaging is clearly states Pockets and Breeze.
It does say Breeze coil, or it says Pockets coil on the actual package of the coil itself too. Yes.
Got it. And what's the rough MSRP for each of those coil packs of 5?
Probably anywhere from like $10 to about $15, I would say.
Well, for Breeze is slightly cheaper. We're looking at about $10 to $12 range. For Pockets is slightly higher. We're looking at about between $14 and $16 range.
More complicated coil, if you will, in the Pockets.
Pockets, yes, a slightly bigger coil, I would say. More material goes in Pockets coil than Breeze. Breeze is a very, very small coil.
Got it. So $15 to $20 for coils, maybe once a month.
Actually, no.
No.
No. If you're talking about one coil, should last you at least 2 to 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
Again, it all depends on what type of juice you're running in it. Depends on how much you actually, if you're a chain vapor or if you're doing just for the nicotine on it. Average user should get at least, I want to say, week and a half minimum out of this. So if you're talking about week and a half, pushing 2 weeks out of this.
Month and a half.
Yeah, a pack of coil should last you a month and a half.
Maybe
a little bit.
So a month and a half, so it's about $15, and maybe I go through juice, maybe 60 mil a month if I'm a new vapor, maybe 120. So maybe we're talking about 20, 30, $40 a month, $50 a month after you start, which I would think compared to the other one, depending on what kind of, what your bad habit frequency was like, I'd say it's pretty reasonable and
versus $20 a day on the bad habits to $50 a month as an example, or even $100 a month is still costing me a lot less
versus $20 a day.
Exactly.
Yeah, which sounds like a couple trips to the bad habit store.
It definitely was.
All right, cool. So if you're just joining us, you're watching eJuices.com live, brought to you by eJuices.com. We are talking about resolutions for 2018. We're talking about getting more people vaping. We're talking about all those people out there who might be watching this, and even those that are watching it who are current vapors, about resolutions and getting transitioning to vaping. We're joined by Bobby and Harry from Aspire Vape, one of the largest manufacturers of hardware and juice. You guys have a juice line now too, right?
Right.
Which is great. One of the largest manufacturers of hardware vaping devices. They happen to have a couple products that are ideal for those looking to start vaping. One is the Breeze, one is the POC X. Very simple devices, very cost effective if you're looking to get started. So how long have you had the juice line?
The original line was introduced March of 2016. The second line was introduced. The Pop Cycle line was introduced later on down the road, but pretty much close to 2-year mark.
0, 3, 6, 12 nicotine?
On the original line, yeah, 0, 3, 6, and 12. On the Pop Cycle line, 0, 3, and 6.
Got it. And are any of those liquids bundled with a starter device so that you can kind of get everything together? Have Have you guys done that?
We haven't done that on a retail level, but we have companies that they have done that for us, because our concentration more of a on a distribution and making sure that the quality is in there for the clientele, than just concentrate of selling those bundles.
Got it. Cool. Don't forget, everyone watching live, at least, we're doing a giveaway at the end of the show. Make sure and stick around. 4 breezes. We're giving away 4 breezes. That'd be 4 different winners. You have a choice of 5 colors. Don't get confused. 5 colors, 4 winners. You pick which color you want, which looks like you got black, red, teal, green, and then steel, gray. So you got that.
And green, blue, red, black, and silver.
Come on, Harry, you got to make it sound better than that. You're in sales. It's got to be teal and, candy apple red.
Candy apple green, candy apple red.
So, and one lucky winner is going to win a SkyStar, brand new, the whole kit, everything you need. You're sure I can't win, right? Okay.
Yes, right. Mike, we're sure.
All right, we'll move on. All right, so it's about 7:15, 7:16. We're doing pretty good. Thanks to everybody coming on the chat. Hello, Tita. Thanks for coming. So let's see if we can get through the rest of these questions here. So what's the biggest challenge of being a hardware manufacturer?
Well, the biggest challenge will be, I would say, making sure that the quality of the product is there. Again, not bringing out any names in the market that they're just flooding the market with the different type of devices, with the different versions of the same thing. For us, more of a quality. I'll bring you an example. Before August of 2016, when FDA regulation kicked in, we released a lot of products, but what we did, we didn't mass manufacture them. We still have products that we're holding it back because there's already a better version of that product in the market. So for us, it's not to flood the market with the product and try just to take a market share, but it has to make sense. The quality has to be there. It has to have a purpose of delivering the experience, great experience that the company stand behind since 2008. So it's important for us to make sure that the quality is there to get that great experience to our consumers.
Which I want to take a minute, just a second here, to thank you guys again for coming on. Certainly, we're not done with the show, but thanks again for coming on. I don't think myself or the viewing audience or the YouTube viewers that are going to view this in the future get a chance to hear from the manufacturer directly. And I think it's nice. It's nice to hear what the manufacturer is doing, especially as it relates to listening to the customer and adapting to the market based on needs, issues, problems, and you guys are finding ways to resolve it. So thanks again, and thanks for everything you guys are doing. We appreciate it very much. And I suppose without you, we would have a business that no one could use if we didn't have you guys, right? So without the device, I guess I could drink. I don't know, yeah.
Well,
so
those vice versa too. Without consumers, we can't just manufacture the product and wait.
Yeah, so your family will only buy so many. Your family is only going to buy like 1 or 2. Yeah. So, but thanks, guys. I think it's great to get out there. I mean, like get in front of these people. I mean, you're a manufacturer and you're made by real people, and it's good to get the real people out in front of everybody. Seeing if we have anything people really want the SkyStar, that's for sure. Some people like green, some people like red. But yeah, so thanks. So let's see. So so for those people who are watching and who are experienced vapors, just going a little bit off topic, what do you guys have, or what do you recommend to step up their game? Like if they're already past the kind of transition phase?
If they're past the transition phase, I definitely would recommend, like we've been talking about, our new SkyStar Revvo kit that we had.
Okay.
The most revolutionary design as far as coil system goes, as far as the tank system goes, the way the Phillips system is. So everything is unique, you know, one by one, actually on this. So the first unique thing about this tank, if you want to actually get into detail about the tank, is that what you want me to do?
Sure.
Okay.
It looks kind of comfortable, like it's round.
It is. It's very ergonomic. Very, you know, with the dual 18650 battery setup on it, you know, people would actually think it's very heavy, but with the type of materials that we have used on this particular mod, it is actually very lightweight compared to other dual 18650 batteries that's in the market right now. So just to kind of show you guys, there you go. So that's a dual 18650 battery right there. And it is a magnetic rear door hatch. So just,
nice.
You know, right away. So there's no unscrewing anything. There's no levers or anything like that, or spring-loaded, you know, doors that you got to open for it to basically open up. And it is a touchscreen mod. So as you guys can see right there, it gives you all the setting options right there. So it's just basically 2 swipes up on the screen, gives you the wattage controller on it. And, you know, you got 2 swipes down, gives you all the settings. There you go. Gives you all the setting controller on it. So to make it very simple, and it is a center fire button. So that is the actual button right there that does fire off the mod, or fire off the tank. That will warms up the coils. So that's basically the overall review of the actual mod itself. The tank itself, the very unique thing about it is the first one is a top fill system, which is going to be right through that little center hole right there. So basically what you do, any type of juice bottle that you do have, I'm going to open up the top just to show you guys, but you don't actually have to open it up.
Oh, look at that. That's pretty interesting.
So this piece right here that goes in and out is basically going to be with the Phillip is right there. And then Harry's actually going to grab a juice bottle real quick so I can show you guys on how the Phillip system actually works on it. And you never have to, like I said, unscrew anything off the tank to fill it up ever again. So with the tank completely, you know, assembled, he's going to grab me a bottle right now and I'll show you.
All right, so for those of you watching, just to be clear, this is not necessarily a starter device, but we're trying to demonstrate what's available maybe for down the road, and for all the other people watching who are experienced vapors as far as what's new from Aspire. Not necessarily a starter device, but kind of a coming attraction of what's available for those of us who've been doing it a little while. We won't dwell on this, but we do think it's kind of interesting.
We have to explain what we're giving away, right?
We do, yes. That is a requirement. Thank you, Harry.
All righty. So, guys, just to kind of show you again, so the way it basically works to fill up, whether you're using one of these glass fillers or whether you're using one of those Gorilla bottles, all you got to do is just stick it right into the center of it, push that little valve that was in there down, squeeze the juice. Let me go ahead and bring that closer so you guys can see it. So once you push it in, fill it up, it actually starts filling up the tank right away.
Oh, it goes from the bottom up.
It does go right from the bottom. And if you did fill up more than you needed to, all you got to do is just let go of it. It will actually get the juice right back out of it as well, too. So just to show you right there.
That's called the Revvo?
This is the Revvo. This is the Revvo tank. So as you can see, I didn't take anything off the tank to actually, you know, fill it up. And to show you the coil system, the way the coil system is.
One person's going to win this.
Yep. One lucky winner out there.
I guarantee you one thing, it's not me. Okay, so that's very interesting. Wait, that's the coil?
That is the coil.
What?
So yep, that's the cotton that actually does the wicking. So this actually wicks it.
Is that at the bottom of the tank or the top of the tank? This
metal part, the Kanthal coil, is actually going to be the top of the actual tank.
Yeah.
Which is right over there.
Okay.
So that's going to be the Kanthal. And the bottom sits actually right on the inside of the tank where the cotton is. And we do have 2 different types of organic cotton that's actually in there. And one is basically going to be where it saturates the actual top coil. Once the Kanthal coil is basically fired off, it will actually basically vaporize the juice from the second coil that's actually touching the Kanthal coil itself. Just to kind of show you guys when he fired it off, so you'll see exactly how that works.
It's so it's very dripper-esque.
True, it is. So a lot of these RDA people who actually love RDAs and RDTAs will definitely understand the way this actually works. And the RDAs and RDKs are more of like the rebuildable like the coil systems and stuff that they actually do have out there.
Chad can't wait to give you $1 for his winning, for his winning, for his winning SkyStar. Chad, we hope you win.
And to kind of touch base on the coils as well too. The coil is actually designed to run anywhere from 50 to 100 watts to be on the safe zone. And it is the best flavor production is going to be anywhere from 80. I would say anywhere from like 80 to 90 watts. I would say was the best flavor production out of it, as what's on the packaging itself. We personally have done some extensive testing on this coil, so we know that it can actually, work a little bit hotter. We don't recommend it, but we know that it can last. That being said, meaning the coil will definitely last a little bit longer than your average coil that's out in the market right now.
You need that little disclaimer at the bottom of the screen that says "professionals on closed course," right? Like, exactly. We were professionals trying this.
So I personally, myself, I'm running this at 88 watts. You don't need to go any, higher than that to actually get some flavor production out of it, to get some actual vapor production out of it. And as you can see, with just vaping on it, you get a lot of cloud production out of it, amazing flavor production out of it too. So this is going to be more towards the advanced people to actually use something like this. Advanced vapors out there.
We have a question in chat. Does the tank have an optional rebuildable coil?
No, it does not. It does not. Not yet, from what I was told.
Jonas, good question. That would be feedback. You can go to aspirevapco.com and send that to them. They seem like they're very good at keying in on what the consumers want.
But guys, who was asking that question about if it's an RDA or if it does have an option of an RDA, surprisingly, with the way the coil works, it's going to work just as good, if not better than an RDA tank that's actually in the market right now. It's a sub-ohm tank. It's a pre-built coil. There's no need to sit there and build anything on it. Throw the old coil away, put the new coil in there, and you're all set to go again.
Okay. So, all right. So for those people watching and those people out there in chat and watching this video, this is a very nice advanced tank, if you will, or later on after you're a beginner vape. However, if you're transitioning to vaping and you just have to look at like that, show me the top of the line first, what should someone expect to pay for something like that?
What would be
for this?
Yeah. For the SkyStar Revvo kit.
Suggested retail price is $85. So
$85. Complete kit.
Complete kit, yeah.
Looking at about $85 to $100 range on a brick and mortar stores. Some stores have anywhere, like online stores have about $80 range.
Okay, so about if I want to start vaping, we talked about the importance of the device being right. If I just have to go to the top of the line, I might spend double the price. I get a lot more features, but I lose a lot of form factor, functionality, and it may be a little bit more than what I need. Right?
Of course.
Not a bad device. It's just...
It's definitely not. But for the person who's actually starting in it, they want to be a little bit more on the cost-effective side. Definitely would recommend going with the Pocket or the Breeze. Has a built-in battery versus, a unit that you have to buy the battery.
So there's more cost.
Be more cost for them. So if you're looking at cost-effective wise for the certain people out there who are actually on a budget to stop their bad habit, definitely would not recommend going with a unit like this off the bat. Start off with something smaller. Work your way up to this, to know that if this is something that you want to get into or not.
Got it. Makes sense. If you're just joining us, again, you're watching eJuices.com live, brought to you by eJuices.com. I am Michael. We're joined by Bobby and Harry talking about resolutions, New Year's resolutions, and starting vaping, and how important the device, the actual hardware is to the transition to start vaping. You really got to get the device right. Aspire has a couple products that are very appropriate if you're looking to start vaping. If you have a resolution for 2018, you want to start vaping. Two products that they have, the Breeze and the POC X. If you guys want to show it one more time.
Of course.
So these are two very cost-effective, easy-to-use, form factor, not complicated devices to get your nicotine from the act of vaping. And $24 retail price, $25 retail price, somewhere around there. So pretty, it's like one day for you, right? It was one day for you, and maybe for a lot of people out there. So you got that. It comes with a couple coils, which is great. So you're off for at least a couple weeks, maybe a month, that you can use the device. And you just need to get some juice. And I think for about $40, $45, you're on your way to start vaping. And I would think for someone who has a real resolution to start vaping, I would think $40 is a pretty cost-effective price to feel better and you know break other bad habits, let's say, right? For the most part. Thanks again for everybody coming out and chat. Thanks for everybody watching this after the live show. So let's get do you guys have new products coming out? Is there anything that you can let our audience know, whether it's on the starter side, the tank side, the other side? Maybe more importantly for this show, any new starter devices? Will there be a closed system? Or is there more of that type of stuff?
Actually, the next, I think we have 2 or 3 new devices are lined up to come out shortly, which is going to be more of on a starter kit side than more advanced. We just released Revvo, which is more on an advanced side. So the next one will be our starter kit lineup, addition to that lineup. I can't disclose what are those will be or what are the names. What I can say will be built basically on our famous coil systems. So that'll be something will be a pleasant, not only for end user, for consumers, also for shops. Don't have to come to bring new coil systems and introduce something new. So we're looking into, again, more of a quality and bring in as a new, redo it with a new design and add the technology to existing good coil systems.
Makes sense. Awesome. We have a funny discussion going on in chat. So Bobby, I think you're a vapor, right? I think Harry, a little bit of a vapor. But so Bobby, how long have you been vaping?
On and off since I first started with, again, the first initial device that actually did come out. I've been on and off vaping for about, I want to say, close to 6 years now, 5.5, 6 years. I've been continuously vaping. I actually completely stopped smoking. It's been 3.5 months now, and I have not touched a single cigarette in the last 3.5 months, and I've only been vaping, which I'm proud of myself because I went from 2 packs a day to not being able to run down the street to biking or cycling for a very long time now. So it definitely does improve a lot of things for me personally.
It's amazing, right? It's amazing.
It definitely is.
Awesome.
That's what the device does.
That's exactly. With the good device, with the proper device that you have in your hands, it definitely will satisfy the needs that you have with your bad habits, and it will, help you out in the long run as well too, with a lot of different things.
And what made you switch? What was the motivation to switch for those people out there that are watching?
Health was one of the biggest factors for me personally. The fact that I didn't smell bad anymore. The fact that, it's just, there's just many reasons out there. Like, my fingers weren't turning yellow, my teeth weren't turning yellow. It's just like, or they were. And basically by converting over from my bad habits to vaping now, I've actually, eliminated all those bad things that could have happened to me. And, and other reasons as well too, from, family members and stuff and bad habits and what they've gone through because of it. And I just said, you know what, time to quit, and that's it. Go straight to vaping and never look back. And
the benefits you say are pretty amazing, right?
Benefits are completely amazing. Like I said, I wasn't able to run down the street because of my bad habits. Now I'm actually, with only 3.5 months of not, touching my bad habit and only vaping, I can actually cycle anywhere from 15 to 25 miles, and I do that almost every day now. I just picked up road cycling, so I'm basically doing that now as well too. So I definitely do feel a difference. My stamina has definitely gone a lot longer. I can breathe a lot better. So it definitely has helped me personally, with many different, reasons that I have that I can never want to go back to my bad habits.
You might even you might even be able to wear that shirt 2 days in a row.
Exactly. Because now it smells better.
It cuts down on laundry, I guess. It could, right?
Exactly.
Which is another cost savings, I guess.
Helping the economy. I mean, with the environment as well too, by not wasting that much water.
Chemical.
Right. But the coil usage, no, I'm just kidding, right? Yeah, so, and I would think economically it's probably advantageous. Sounds like you've mentioned that a couple times.
Yes.
So, so savings, health, you're doing all these new things. You don't smell bad. So a lot of great things. So again, we're doing a giveaway. It's going to be coming up here probably in the next 10 minutes or so. Don't forget, we'll put an announcement in the chat when the giveaway is going to be occurring. 4 breezes, 4 Aspire breezes. They come in 5 colors. Don't get confused. 4 breezes will be given away in your choice of color of the 5, and 1 lucky winner is going to get a Sky Star, which is not me. So stick around about another 10 minutes. All right, so a couple more questions here. So we talked about it a little bit. Is there anything else we can expect from Aspire in the future? Like, are we going to expand your juice line? Are you going to get into maybe devices for other markets, like maybe the cannabis or the THC market?
I mean, the options are open with the quality that the company has. A lot of major players in the different industries approached us to collaborate and work with them. But for us, the way that we're looking at it, we'd rather be in something and be the best than just be involved in a lot of stuff and lose the quality. Again, the quality has been a number one thing for the company since the beginning. And if there's any market that we want to be involved in, and if it's something that is beneficial for people, we want to be involved with the quality. So that's the main thing we're looking at. And everything that it's being done, it's still, I mean, the major thing that we're doing, we're moving to a newer location now to expand and have better options, better opportunity for community to be involved and get a feedback to us. The shift that our industry has right now, it's towards more of a cloud chasing and vaping, kind of like starter. The industry was built on the idea of getting rid of that bad habit and then shift it to a different direction, which we don't mind. That direction can still exist, but we don't forget why this industry was built on. What was the core reason that this industry started? So we're trying to keep that. That was the reasons of all of these devices and new ones that are going to come out. We'll be concentrating on that and making sure that the quality is in there.
Well said. Very well said. I think personally, here's my suggestion box item. I think you should come out with like, what do they call it now? Like a OG Nautilus. Like, bring back the Nautilus, the original one, under like a new name, just so like everyone can say. I can't believe it's only like been 4 years or something, and we're already talking about bringing back like an oldie but goodie. But I think it'd be kind of funny to bring back a whole like the old school line.
But we can bring like a Nautilus experience with a new device.
Oh, okay.
Old Nautilus and changing the name.
You're a dad. How are you gonna like tell your kids one day, like, look, this is what I started with. This was 40 years ago.
Here for batteries, but big ones. Plans.
It's funny. So here's kind of a wrap up or almost wrapped up question here. If each of you had to give one piece of advice to someone looking to transition to vaping, what would it be?
Don't give up on it. That's what I would say. You know, it is not an easy transition. I'll definitely admit that, you know, personally. It is not an easy transition, but what you have to do is don't give up on it. Make sure you force yourself to, not force yourself, but find the proper unit that you need, the perfect unit that you actually need that fits comfortably in your hand, that you get the proper flavor production out of, the proper nicotine production that you're getting out of, that's stopping your urges, and continue with that, as long as you can, to completely stop the urges 100%, from your bad habits that you were having. That's just my number one thing, advice that I would be like, don't give up.
I would say probably do a research and approach at least 3-4 different shops, and ask questions before you choose a device. Don't just go after the trend. Tell them what you want that for, tell your concerns, and then expect quality answers from the retail shop employees before you make a decision what you're gonna buy.
Right. And don't get us wrong. We're thrilled that you guys were able to come on the show. We really appreciate the time. But any manufacturer, for the most part, is good. Just if you're going to start vaping, Aspire is a great brand. They make a very great quality product. They have products specifically designed for a transitioning vapor. But for the most part, if you're going to start vaping, just start vaping, right? Any device, pick the right device. But there are other devices out there. It doesn't have to be an Aspire device. But the fact that
again, it's not about, if there were no competition in the market, we wouldn't be able to be where we are right now. So the competition have to be there. That makes us to make better devices. Again, we have devices that we didn't release because we saw a better version of that in the market, which makes sense. Instead of bringing something that it's not a quality, it's not good for people. So you have to choose whatever you're comfortable with, regardless if it's an Aspire brand name. I mean, we prefer personally that is Aspire, but it's up to you. As long as it helps you to vape and get rid of the habits.
Awesome. Yeah, very, very well put. And what I was going to say to Bobby was, and I think it's okay to dual use, right? I think we should make that clear, right?
Dual use as far as for what?
Vaping and the other bad habit. I don't think you necessarily have to go, cold turkey on one day.
You can. Again, I personally wouldn't recommend it because there's just so much nicotine intake that you're taking into your system all at the same time. I wouldn't recommend it. But of course, yeah, you can do that. If it helps you slowly transition from going, like me personally, from 2 packs to, I did 2 packs to cold turkey straight vaping, versus some people can't actually do that. They slowly transition. They might do, I don't know, I'll go from 2 packs to 1 pack and then plus vape in between. Of course, that's definitely a way you can look at it as well. Definitely a good way to start slowly getting rid of that complete bad habit that you have.
So ultimate goal has to be vaping.
Right.
Yeah, ultimate goal is
to get to that point.
Yeah. End up getting rid of your bad habit and just stick to vaping, and better. It's a much better way of life, I would say, versus the bad habit.
I agree. We agree. Yeah, I think I just want to make that kind of clear, is that I don't want people to feel like, because I think that might be why some people fail, is because they try to go cold turkey and it's really not exactly the same, right? It takes some getting used to. I think it's just like if you were a Coca-Cola drinker and then you try Dr. Pepper, it's very different, right? It's just a different thing. Maybe that's a bad example because they're both sodas, but I think you get the picture. It's like, it's not going to be the same, it's not necessarily the same exact experience, right?
True, it definitely is not the same exact experience, versus, one fits in between your fingers, you have to light it up, versus the other one fits in the palm of your hand, or even the smaller versions where, again, it can kind of hold it still in between your fingers, but again, it's not the same concept, or it's not the same, it's not 100% the same feeling of it. But as far as would it satisfy your needs to stop your bad habits, of course it will. You just have to kind of work on it to get rid of that initial couple of steps that you were taking to do those bad habits, versus starting a new way like this, where it's a healthier way to basically do it, I would say.
And I think your both points were very good. I think your point's really valid. Don't give up. Like, just don't give up. I think, at least in my experience and in our business, is what we've seen is the people that have transitioned and have stuck with it have found not like a plethora of great benefits and results from it. So the moral of the story is get out there, and resolve that goal. How about that for 2018? Just get it started. And so you've been watching eJuices.com live, brought to you by eJuices.com. We're here with Bobby and Harry from Aspire Vape Co. We've been talking about starting vaping, how important the device is when you do start vaping. Aspire happens to make a couple products that are ideal to when you start vaping. They have a POC and they have a Breeze. They also were generous enough to do a giveaway, 4 Breezes, 1 SkyStar, which I think everybody wants. What I'm going to try and do now is, yeah, you get to choose the color. So let me see if I can get 1 second.
And we got, Michael, we got 5 different colors of the SkyStar as well too. So the winner actually has an option of choosing.
But only you're giving away 1.
Just giving away 1, but we have 5 different color options.
I got you. Yeah.
And kind of let you guys know what the colors are. We do have the black carbon fiber, we have the white, we have the wood grain, we have the slate blue, and we have the blue camo as well too. So like a blue camouflage color.
They're all the same price?
They are all the same price. There's no difference in price with the color.
Even the carbon fiber?
Yes, even the carbon fiber, still the same price. And the carbon fiber is the one I've used personally myself.
Is that the one you're sending me? No. Okay, so for those of you in the chat, thank you very much for watching. For those of you watching the video, thank you. What we're going to do is we're going to, in the chat, follow directions. In the chat, pick a number between 1 and 99. 1 and 99 after I say start. After that, we're going to pick a random number, and that will be the winner. We're going to do it for the 4, and then we'll do it for the SkyStar. There's the start. Closest without going over. Closest without going over. Can you guys see the chat?
We can. And
okay,
Michael,
cool.
You're going to keep that number?
What's that?
You're keeping that number?
I'm going to put one in. Oh, I can't. Why are we counting numbers? So you guys are in Southern California, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay, got it. All right. Wait, what? You only get to only one number. Everyone gets one number, not more than one. All right. Is everybody almost close to? Is everybody entered? Okay. Let's see. Last chance. Going once, going twice. This is you can only enter once. We're giving away 5 items. 4 Breeze, 1 SkyStar. Okay. We're going to do it super scientific. All right, can everyone see that? Okay. So we're going to shake this for the first winner. 87.
Let's see. Who do we got?
TJ Stacy.
Number 86.
You win a Breeze. $49. You can only win once, by the way. Ben O'Donnell. Does that look like the winner? 46.
Paul has 50.
Paul has 50.
No, without going over.
Oh, without going over.
Yeah. So Ben O'Donnell, you win a Breeze.
60.
60 on the nose. I think 50 gets it.
50. There's 52.
Oh, 52.
White guy, 52.
That white, well, Chad and that white guy both had the same number.
Between them.
What do you guys want to do? Chad. Looks like Chad. Who is this? So that white guy was first with 52. That white guy, you win a breeze. Is that 3?
Yeah. We have one more left on breeze.
Yeah, we got one more. We got 63.
I think Chad might win anyway. Wait, Chad entered twice. We'll take his first entry. So is Chad the closest to 63? I think he is.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
All right, Chad, you win a breeze. Congratulations. That white guy was first. Okay. Ready? Is there a drum roll? Do we have a drum roll? I don't think we have a drum roll. All right, here's for the Sky Star. What's my number? Sky Star. Oh, what? Who has the lowest number?
I saw 3 in here earlier.
Oh, man. Ben O'Donnell, it's his second entry, though. Who's the lowest number? Karen Loud, 21.
I think he's still 11.
Karen Ledoux.
Ben has 2 entries.
Yeah, but his first entry also 11.
It was 11.
Where? Is it below the...
It's above Jeff.
No, but Ben O'Donnell 46 the first time.
Oh, it's 3 actually.
Oh, yeah, yes.
And he won a breeze. So I think it... Oh, wait. Yeah, I think it's Karen.
21?
Karen?
Yeah. Karen Ledoux.
Yeah.
You win.
You win a Sky Star Revvo kit.
Awesome. Ben, that was one of my spam entries. That's so funny. Okay. Thanks to everybody who participated. If you can, send an email to ejuicescom@gmail.com. And we will get you your prizes out to you. Wow. All right, so cool. So wrapping up here. So thanks again. Thanks for everybody for watching. Congratulations to all the winners. We'll get the prizes out, or they will get the prizes out, and your $1. Oh, Ben's in the UK. That's fine, Ben. So in closing, is there anything else you'd like to tell the viewers or people that are watching this video about starting to vape or Aspire Vape Co. and how Aspire can help vaping?
Well, I would say just think that Aspire is always here to listen to your concerns. We're always here to get the feedback. Please don't hesitate. Our phone lines are always open for that. We have a chat community. Everything is available to you. Give us a feedback. We are making a great product, but we always want to make it better and better. So start vaping. You have questions about how to start, where to get our product, which product is good, and get an authentic product. Give us a call. We're always here to help you.
And on our website, we do have a store locator as well, too. So if you go to aspirevapeco.com, there's an area where it says retail. You can definitely click on that. It does have a store locator. Type in your zip code. It'll show the nearest authorized retailer that's in your area that you can definitely go and make sure that you're getting 100% authentic Aspire product. And stay away from the clones. That's what I would recommend. Make sure you're getting whatever it is, whatever brand it is, doesn't matter. Make sure it's 100% authentic. And we do stand behind that by giving retail shops out there as an authorized retailer that we guarantee that they're selling 100% authentic product. And they're going to be on our website as a list as well too of their shops and their locations.
Awesome. Awesome.
Right. Keep vaping. Don't give up, guys.
Don't give up. That's a really good it's a really good advice. So thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time. I know it's later on a work day, but I think it's great. I think it's nice for the audience and consumers to get out there and talk to an actual manufacturer, that there's real people behind these things, and that they're doing the right things, right? Which is educating the shops, getting feedback from consumers. You're putting out a quality product. You're addressing market needs. And you're just supportive of the industry in general. So thank you guys. Thank you again. Hopefully we'll have you on again. I mean, if you guys want to come back on again in the future, maybe when you have a new product that you're going to send me to demo before it comes out, we'll have you back on again. But no, thanks again, honestly, for coming on the show. You've been watching eJuices.com live, brought to you by eJuices.com. On this video, we were joined by Bobby Grigorian and Harry Ayvazyan. Ayvazyan. It's a tough last name. Of Aspire Vape Co, manufacturers of vaping hardware and e-liquid. All of the Aspire Vape products, in addition to 2,000 other products, eJuices hardware replacement coils, are available on eJuices.com. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, smash that like button, and make sure and come back and see us next week, same time, Tuesday night, 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, on this channel on YouTube, eJuices.com. For now, I'm Michael, signing out from eJuices.com. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks again.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, the audience. Thank you.